Hello, good afternoon. My name is Zubair Rahman Ansari. I'm graduate level student of Masters of Engineering Management. Belongs to College of Environmental Design, Department of Construction Engineering and Management, King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals. Today I will gonna present one article given by us by our professor under the course title Manufacturing System and Supply Chain Design, EM 560. The title of my article is Proactive Approach to Supply Chain Risk Management, Shifting Orders Among Suppliers to Mitigate the Supply Side Risk. So this is the journal from where this article is taken, and the article abstract is there. The article presents basically compare the technology. We have like advantages of the technology, and on the other hand we have like disadvantages of the modernization of the technology. So this article focus through some mathematical models. The advantages is there, but what could be the disadvantages, like risk evaluation. The article information is there with keywords, and the citation reference is also shown on the right side. The article was received in February 2015 and available online on 15th April 2016. So the content of my article would be the research question, article background, methodology, and we'll give numerical examples with the model. Two models you will develop. First model with procurement, first procurement model without the risk, without the supplier risk, and the second procurement model with minimization of the cost with the risk introduced in the model. And then we'll see the automotive industry application. We'll go through the conclusion, suggestion, and then practical implication for my work activity. First is the research question. In this study, the supply chain risk management process is investigated, and a procedure is proposed in the risk mitigation phase. And in the first stage of the proposed procedure, an initial procurement plan is obtained through linear programming model, considering the cost and minimization of the cost. In the second stage, we will revise the model, introducing the risk profiles of the supplier in it, and then we'll see what is the minimum cost and what are the number of items reduced from one supplier to another supplier. So this is our research question. We will see the effect. Article background. We face many risks in our daily life, and we are bound to live with those to some level in order to survive and conduct activities. Increasing globalization, e-trade, reduce the product cost procured from Far East region, but on the other hand, it has also introduced the risk like communication complexities, geopolitical complexities, cultural complexities, legal complexities. So in supply chain, even the supply chain members like suppliers, manufacturer, warehouse, retailers, they want to achieve their own goals individually, and the achieving the goal for one of the supplier can introduce a risk to another aspect of the supply chain. So you want to evaluate, being a manager, to evaluate and by navigating every members in one direction in terms of the risk management. If you want to evaluate the risk, being a manager, for making strategic decisions, following items will be considered: cost criterion as well as risk criterion, transportation routes, amount of production in each manufacturing facility, determination of risk attitude, multiple versus single supplier, in-house versus global procurement. There are two types of approaches: proactive and reactive. I'll see we'll go into the detailed slides. A proactive approach is used in this article by revising the first first cost-based procurement model to cost and risk-based procurement model. So the risk identification. Risk identification is the first and the most important stage of the risk management. For an efficient risk management, supply chain must be divided into elements such as suppliers, manufacturers, warehouses, distribution channels, and the risk associated with each element should be examined and identified specifically and elaborately. This whole process is called supply chain mapping and risk registering. Now we will see the subcategories of individual risk form, such as operational and disruption risk, global risk. Operational risk can include uncertain customer demand, uncertain supply, cost, equipment reliability, loss of IT system, human error, quality issues, financial issues, safety stock level, manager decisions, delivery schedules. Disruption risk can be of two types. Natural, such as earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, terrorist attack, man-made and man-initiated risk, such as economics of organization, strikes, labor going on strikes, cannot work, the company is down, etc., etc. So in the global risk, as a broader spectrum, we have economic risk for the whole world. Environmental risk, if the environment is not favoring for a particular manufacturer or for a supplier of some product, he cannot deliver to its customer. So this is because of environment, can be geopolitical, unrest in a country where your supplier is located. Technological risk, there is a failure, might be in the technology, or a new technology is superseding the old one. So these all are the things which we can highlight here. There are some examples of those risks is there. Risk measurement. Sorry. There are two criteria used for the risk measurement: the probability and the impact of risky event. Expected impact, which is the product of probability and impact, is referred to as the risk measurement. Probability distribution function or occurrence frequency of risky event is used to find the value of probability. Data might be available for some risks such as currency and the lead time, but might be rare and insufficient for event as earthquake and terrorism. In this situation, we will use the likelihood of an event. The likelihood is related to the frequency of occurrence of an event. So the expected impact would be the product of probability of an event to occur multiplied by the impact of the probable risky event. So there is a table. The table is showing the probability impact matrix. To impact from very low to very high, rating from 1 to 5, likelihood from very unlikely to very likely, rating from 1 to 5 respectively. So the risk evaluation, next step in the methodology is the risk evaluation. Comparing the risk analysis with established risk criteria. Risk criteria depends on organizational objectives, comprises from standard policies and laws. We have 4 different strategies for the risk evaluation. We have to either avoid the risk, reduce the probability or impact, accept the risk, prepare contingency plan. Risk mitigation strategies and proposed procedure. We can have like 4 measures. Avoidance, we can avoid dropping a specific product. Geographically, market, suppliers and customer organization. Control, we can go for vertical integration, increase stockpiling and the use of buffer inventory, maintaining excess capacity, production, storage, handling and or transport, imposing contractual obligation on suppliers. So these are the control measures to reduce the risk. Joint efforts to improve supply chain visibility and understanding between that can be obtained by cooperation between the supplier and the manufacturer. Joint efforts efforts to share risk-related information, joint efforts to prepare supply chain continuity plan. Flexibility, we can also mitigate risk by having more flexibility in our business, postponement, multiple sourcing, localized sourcing, and so there are like two, as I mentioned in the earlier slides, that the reactive and proactive approach. In a reactive approach, no action is taken before the occurrence of a risky event, but it is implemented to mitigate the impact or probability after it occurs. In these kinds of strategies, there is no plan to reduce the risk probability, and there are two strategies. One is having no plan to reduce the impact. They are implemented after the occurrence of the risky event. In proactive approach, plans are implemented to mitigate the risk before they occur. And one is after occurring and one is before occurring. This approach may include execution of plans either to decrease the probability or to reduce the impact of a risky event in advance. Risk monitoring and control. This is a cyclic process which keeps continuous monitoring the risk and updating the risk profile for future action plan. So now we'll go to the numerical examples and verification of the model. We'll create the minimum cost procurement model by linear programming. Then we'll do the perform risk analysis and identifying the risk profiles of the supplier. Then determination of the product quantity to be transferred in proportion to the supplier risk profile. And if a supplier has a higher risk, we will not go more orders or more number of units from that supplier. We will shift it to the less risky suppliers. Product transfer from risky supplier to, as I mentioned, to a relatively less risky supplier, reliable supplier through network model. Creating the new cost and risk based procurement plan, and revising the first plan which having no risk associated with it to a next model, to a more improved model of the cost minimization by introducing the risk. The first procurement model. In the first procurement model, we are considering 5 suppliers having the capacity as per this table: 47,000 for the supplier 1, 92,000, 49,000, 95,000, and for the 5th supplier 44,000. Total 327,000. And the unit price of those units is already given. The transportation cost from supplier to manufacturer is given as tabulated. From 1 to 1 is like 8.5. The currency is in dollar. So these are the transportation cost and the production cost. Okay. So demand of each manufacturer, this is the demand of manufacturer, 95,000 for, we are considering 3 manufacturer here, 5 suppliers and 3 manufacturer. For 95,000 for the first, 74,000 for the second, and 80,000 for the third one. And this comes total to 249,000. So this is the network diagram. By arrows we are showing that which supplier has to feed which manufacturer. So now we will develop the model. The model is developed, the cost based model. Y11 means from supplier 1 to manufacturer 1, Y12 means from supplier 1 to manufacturer 2. Similarly, so we have to minimize the cost, so we have taken all the cost in here and these models subjected to the constraint equation, the supply, the capacity constraints, 5 equations for the capacity constraint and 3 equations for the demand constraint. So as you know, from the Excel we can solve this linear programming model, and we got this result from supplier 1 to 5. These are the number of units to be supplied to the manufacturer, satisfying all the the demand, the capacity constraints and the demand constraints. Now, second procurement model will go at the risk profile in the model. We got the risk profile. This is a different topic. How we'll get the risk, what parameters we'll see, we already covered it. And for our example, we'll see different parameters into the more detail in the example of automotive industry. So the second procurement model will develop before developing the model, we have these risks: supplier 1, supplier 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have supplier 2 is having very less risk, 32 number, and the supplier 3 is more risky. So we'll calculate the normalized values. What we'll do, we'll minus the minimum risk values from the other risk values, make it grand total, and then divide each risk by the subtotal. For example, supplier 1, we have like 50 is the risk rating. So we'll from this value we'll minus the less risky supplier, that is 32, supplier 2. The remaining will be 18. Similarly, we'll do it for supplier 2, 3, 4 and 5. The total will be 104. 18 divided by 104 is 0.173, and accordingly this table is created. So this is the network diagram. We shift the number of items, number of units from one supplier to another. As you know, the less risky supplier was supplier 2, and the most risky supplier was supplier 3. So the all arrows will be coming out from 3, and similarly this network diagram and number of units were transferred will be identified. Based on this network model, we developed a new equation for the minimum cost. The model and the constraint equations is shown there. And this constraint equation is based on the network diagram. The arrows coming to particular node is additive arrows, and the arrows coming out from the node is subtracting arrows. So the solution will do the solution by Excel, and these are the values. We have like as per the risk profile, minimum cost procurement plan. For example, for supplier 1 we don't have anything. But now the supplier 1 was not supplying any unit to the manufacturer, but now we have a particular numbers of the units to be shifted to supplier 1 because the supplier 2 was very risky. So the verification of the model, the proposed model is tested 10 times with randomly generated data and verified. We consider 5 suppliers, but if we consider more suppliers, the model will be working. So now we'll see the automation industry application. In the automotive industry, the assembly line is very crucial. In case of any breakdown in the assembly line, we can expect $100 million loss to the automotive industry. An ordinary car is composed of 5,000 parts nearly. List of common risk is being formed, reviewing the literature. Then the logistics and procurement manager of an international automotive industry are being interviewed for consensus based on that literature review. Impact and likelihood of risk involved are established. We will create the tables. The product under consideration. The product which we will consider for the analysis is the safety camera, which will be installed in a bus. This is the demand data. Demand and supply data. We have 3 suppliers have to supply, supply and the capacity constraints are there. We have annual demand of 650 pieces. All these firms are located in one country, so we can ignore the risk associated with the regional shifts. So these all for our analysis. The risk impact categories are shown here from catastrophic to negligible. The rating is defined up. So the likelihood is defined in the likelihood categorization for the automotive supply chain. Risk evaluation categories is also defined. So these are the risk profiles of the supplier, supplier A, supplier B and supplier C. The risk identification, there are certain parameters which has to be considered for the risk, and if we make it total, it would be it is coming out to be 33 for supplier C and 48 for supplier B, and 33 the supplier C is more reliable compared to other suppliers, and the most risky supplier is supplier B. So we similar by following the similar methodology, will normalize the risk values and analyze the model by this network diagram. The constraint equation is revised, the model is revised, and we got the new procurement plan. That is previously the supplier A was supplying for 455 number of safety cameras. Now in the modified procurement plan it's supplying 501 safety cameras, and accordingly the other quantities are also changed because of the. So we'll have like on the other hand, the globalization has advantages. We studied that the cost will be lower. We will have the commercial treaties. We can secure new markets. We can develop communication. We have like internet opportunities to distancing communicate by a distance. But on the other hand, it has a risk, and if we are considering one supplier in our country and one supplier from another company, we can have like cultural diversities, standardization difficulties, language issues, could be so many. So political instabilities, extended distances. Here only we have highlighted the major one. We can have like cost versus competitive advantages, quantitative versus qualitative models. So these are all the conclusions and now in my case I would go to apply this knowledge to my area. We'll have like 3 or 4 contractors supplying us cranes and heavy equipments for our work. We can have like we can identify the most risky and the less risky supplier by considering the risk evaluation can be considered by equipment operator interviews, operational foreman interviews. We can generate the risk profile based on this parameters by considering these parameters: availability of equipment for overall physical condition, breakdown frequency, incident history, fleet size and capacity, and the availability of the contractor within our region. So thank you for your listening, and I will end here. Thank you.